Mary Beth? All right, folks, I'd like to call the Township of Lopatcong Council meeting for July 5th, 2018 to order. Ask everyone to bow their head for a moment of silence, please. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the English Times and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Yes, Councilman Belcaro.
Here.
Councilman Polito.
Here.
Councilman Wright. Council President Pryor.
Here.
Mayor Mangucci.
Here. Folks, any comment on the public comment on the agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move into old business. Number one is the minutes, approve the minutes of the regular and executive session for June 6th, 2018.
You don't have executive session tonight. I wasn't able to get them done in time, so it'll
Okay.
just be the regular minutes I submitted to you.
Do you have a motion based on the change?
Beth, you made some de minimis changes
Yes, I
prior to the meeting,
emailed
right?
all of you and
Yep.
then...
And everybody's seen that, so
Yep.
I'll make the motion to approve those minutes.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Belcaro. Councilman Belcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Mangucci.
Yes. Yes, probably should do that. Go ahead.
All right, let's back up a little bit. We were in executive session for about an hour, during which time we discussed 4 matters relating to personnel, 3 with the inspections department, 1 relating to the court bailiff. We also discussed contractual matters with the PVA and bridge construction. Discussion was held regarding the sewer litigation between Phillipsburg and also attorney-client privilege matters relating to the Equal Pay Act, as well as one other personnel matter relating to and litigation relating to the tax collector's office. No action was taken in executive session.
All right, thank you. Number 2 is the resolution number 18-146 is to authorize the removal of Carlos Carrera from the position of Class 4 member of the Lopatcong Township Planning Board.
Yeah, I think that maybe the simplest way to handle this, this resolution was drafted by our attorney. I'd suggest I read the resolution. It's self-explanatory. We'll have a vote, and then rather than waste time trying to explain it here, my suggestion is we post the hearing officer's decision on the website, and everybody can read it without our comment or
That's fine.
explanation. Whereas Carlos Carrera was appointed to the Lopatcong Township Planning Board on April 5th, 2017, for a term expiring on December 31st, 2018, and whereas on April 26, 2017, Mr. Carrera violated the Code of Ethics for Local Government Officers, NJSA 40:9-22.5, by participating in an executive session in which he had a direct personal and financial conflict, and whereas a violation of the Code of Ethics is cause for removal from the planning board pursuant to Township Code and NJSA 40:55D-23, and whereas NJSA 40:55D-23 provides that the governing body may remove a planning board member for cause after a public hearing, and whereas on January 17th, 2018, the Township Council notified Mr. Carrera that the governing body was seeking his removal from the planning board and provided the opportunity for a public hearing. And whereas a public hearing was held on May 3rd, 2018 and June 7th, 2018, and whereas attorney John E. Lanza was hired by the municipality to act as the hearing officer, and whereas Mr. Carrera was represented by John McDonald Esquire, and the Township by Lawrence P. Cohen, Esquire. And whereas on June 29, 2018, the hearing officer issued written findings of fact, conclusions of law, and recommendations. And whereas the hearing officer found Mr. Carrera's testimony at the hearing to be evasive, self-serving, and contradictory to the accounts of other witnesses and the written record. And whereas the hearing officer concluded that Mr. Carrera is guilty of the charged misconduct, and whereas the hearing officer recommended that the Township Council remove Mr. Carrera from the Township Planning Board, whereas the Township Council accepts the findings of fact, conclusions, law, and recommendations, now therefore be it resolved that the Township Council of the Township of Lopatcong hereby removes Carlos Carrera as a Class 4 member of the Lopatcong Township Planning Board, effective immediately. And Mayor, I'd like to move that resolution.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call that. Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Mangucci?
Yes. Number 3 is the energy aggregation discussion. Do we want to move forward with what we were presented, I believe it was last month? He was in here?
Right, you had a,
And when I say move forward, do we want to entertain the idea of putting this out to our residents? I, for one, feel that our residents have the opportunity to take care of their own electric bills and see who they want to, buy from, rather than, I know they can opt out, but rather than having them go through the aggravation of getting in and then have they themselves having to opt out, I would just, rather they opt in or opt out, they want on their own. I personally did it a couple of years ago with North American Energy Company on my own house. It was fine for the first couple months. After that, I just went back to JCP&L, so that's my pleasure.
My feeling was to just really discuss it tonight. What happened, we had a presentation last month, and we received some documents, Beth, I don't know, 2-3 days ago. I don't think anybody's really had a chance to digest this. And I have a pretty good idea of the overview of it. They implemented it in Harmony. That's what I researched. I have some questions. I don't know how this consultant gets paid. I understand there's some special provisions in law for procurement and so on. It's part of a cooperative. Freedom Township is the lead. There's obviously some expenses. I don't know how they're handled in the cooperative. There's just details that I don't know, and I'm a little uncomfortable, moving forward until these types of questions are answered. The literature we got talked about a need to get ready to bid with everybody. I don't want to do this just to meet somebody else's schedule that I don't even comprehend yet. But to give you an overview, Harmony did this, and you go out as a township, and as part of this cooperative, you take bids on the generation portion of your bill. And the idea is that once the bids are in, you're going to save money on that portion of the bill. You're still going to get one bill. It's going to be from Jersey Central. If you have a problem, you call Jersey Central. You're just going to see a break on the generation part. The mayor talked about, this has been out there. You get calls, phone rings, in the middle of dinner. Somebody wants to sell you alternative energy. This does it on a township-wide basis. And it's for 20 months, so it's not like you get 6 months and it disappears. It's bid, you get this deal for a reasonable period, then you bid it again. If I can click the page, this is what Harmony was talking about. And electric is tough, because some people have gas, some people have all electric, so on. But they were talking about somebody who uses 700 kilowatt hours a month. And they said the current bill would be around $71.95 the bill under the program when they implemented it was about $55.92. So call it 56, 66. They were saving about $16 a month, using a cheaper source to generate the power. Jersey Central still delivers it to your house, services your account. One of the ways this works is everybody's included, but you can opt out. You can opt out at any time. You can opt out up front. You can opt out at any time. But if you don't opt out, then you're in.
That's up to you as an individual homeowner to opt out, not the township.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you do it. I think you do it by phone, online, and so on, but that's the way it works. It's sold as a chance for, with a little bit of effort from the township, it's a chance for every electric user to save some money. Like I said, on the surface, that sounds like an okay deal. If you have solar, you're going to opt out right away because this doesn't really accommodate people with solar on the roof. They're special. Matter of fact, the township has its own deal right now and its own solar. We would probably have to opt out as a customer. But I think we have about 3,500 units in Lopat. 3,500 units would go in, and those who felt like opting out would opt out. That's the overview, and I'm pretty familiar with that. What I'm not familiar with right now, there's like 6 contracts that go with this. They gave us a suggested ordinance that names the vendor right in the ordinance. I've never passed an ordinance with a vendor in it. Things like that. So I'm not comfortable moving ahead tonight, but
Anytime somebody comes to me offering to save me money, I'm just
Yeah.
a little bit skeptical. I'm not that nice a guy.
so we can discuss that more in the public session if anybody's interested, but that's my understanding of the program right now.
And now this resolution is only for the townwide agreement, correct?
Now, there's a series of documents that you have to execute to join the cooperative, to authorize people to talk to Jersey Central, to authorize a consultant to work for you. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and it starts with an ordinance. And you join the program, and that price is good for 20 months. Now, I'm not sure what happens at the end of 20 months.
If the township decides not to go with this, right, can an individual homeowner look into it and apply individually?
Not this program.
Not that program
The
specifically.
idea is 6 towns get together,
Right,
and they bid this thing, and the BPU is involved as well, and they get probably the
the best
the
price.
best price.
Right,
If you get these calls at home, you get postcards, people say, oh, I'm alternative energy source number 1, or whatever it is, and I can beat Jersey Central's price. People do that,
right.
but like the mayor said, the agreement tends to be short. You might get a teaser rate, you might, who knows?
Right.
This is very structured. Everybody in the 6 towns,
The more people they have, the better rate they
Yeah.
get. It's the same.
Right.
So you get all those calls at home. So hey, listen, if you guys want to go along with it, that's fine with me. I just don't know that it's even worth the effort of participating at this point. But if you want to look at it,
I would say if
have at it.
you think this is something, we're talking to a small audience here, hopefully people see the tape. If people think they might be interested, drop an email to the town or whatever and encourage us to look at it further.
You can certainly look at it. I'd be willing to bet that all of you sitting here probably have the opportunity to have somebody call you at some point. So, all right, so we really need to do nothing with that at this point?
No, that was just for discussion.
Okay. All right, under new business, number 1, resolution number 18-156, accept the annual audit for 2017 by signing group affidavit certifying review of, at a minimum, the comments and recommendation sections. Everybody has
I
seen that?
will make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Beth?
Yes. Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Manducci?
Yes. Number 2 is ordinance number 18-09, first reading of a bond ordinance for capital improvements in the amount of $322,000. Paul, you want to enlighten a little bit on that? It's all for the roads, I believe.
A lot of it's equipment-related vehicles.
Okay.
It is not related to roads.
Okay. So we have that ordinance coming up, hopefully next month for the roads. Are we going to try and do that on
Yes.
the,
That'll be
We'll try and do
part
that on
of
the
one
12th.
call.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, your second page lists what you're looking for as far as purchases. You've got the new phone system, you have an inspector vehicles, Department of Public Works, 3-ton roller and pickup truck, and the fire department, including fire hose and turnout gear, all amounting to $322,000.
we haven't heard anything more back from the phone system?
I'll be talking to the gentleman next week.
Okay.
Hopefully I,
Don't know how many of you have called here, but you either get it ring, or you get a fax machine type tone, or, yeah, it's been very aggravating. But the phone system is original to this building, which is 21 years, so we're getting a new one. And what did we figure out we'd save on that, Beth? Do we have any kind of figure on it?
I don't have the paperwork with me, but it'll well pay for the cost of the installation and then
Okay.
some.
All right.
Yeah, I'll make that
Do I
motion.
have a second?
Second.
Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Manducci?
Yes. Number 3 is a resolution number 18-160, authorizing non-fair and open contract for legal services to Namad, Perillo, and Davis with regard to Lopatcong Township versus Rachel Mosher. OAL docket number CLG 05660-2018, and at a rate of $225 per hour.
Rich, do you want to comment on the fee for that?
Yeah, there's currently litigation, as probably most of you are aware of, involving the township as against the tax collector. Our office, a conflict has been asserted against our office. We've recused ourselves out of an abundance of caution, and as such, there is a need to hire conflict counsel to represent the township in this matter.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Beth?
Yes. Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Manducci?
Yes. Number 4 is authorize a contract with BKC Certified Public Accountants.
Little explanation might be helpful here. Go ahead. These are not our normal accountants. These are, a letter went out, y'all were notified of what's going on here. These are what we call forensic accountants. Our insurance is paying for this. And they're folks who are used to these, that's what they do, is these types of situations. And they basically come in and go through the books and make everything right. So, and again, it's being paid by our insurer, right, Beth?
Yes, that's correct.
So I will make this motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call that. Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Manducci?
Yes. Number 5 is approved TWA for Bridge Development Partners LLC for I-78 Logistics Park.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Beth?
Yes. Councilman Belcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Manducci?
Yes. Number 6 is a letter from Lawrence Turco regarding Block 95, lots 12.05 and 29, requesting a zone change. That was for the golf course, correct? For,
Yes.
we changed for residential, to residential, I believe.
The letter is in your pen.
I don't want to read that letter, but we can if you want.
Looking to rezone the land and get a variance on these lots, higher density.
Basically, it's the golf course, they're looking for, to rezone that area out there, which would become more of a high-density residential area. So that's really what this is all about. You see the letters in here, Beth?
Yes.
I mean, I've seen the letter, but I didn't. here, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, the regular notice of formal request to the town council to discuss the possibility of rezoning the two lots that comprise our 18-hole golf club and bank facility at 700 Stryker Road. The lot numbers are 12.05 and 29 and are located at block 95. I recently reached out to Paul Sturbins, and he suggested to write this letter to get dialogue started with all of you. I'd like to discuss the options we might have available to us in rezoning this land and getting a variance on these lots to higher density residential. I also want to see the possibility of having the ability to increase the store availability for buildable lots. So, I don't know whether I want to say any more than that at this point.
No, we have no information at this point,
So-
just the request.
Yeah.
Yeah, just request to meet with us.
That's it. Do we want to bring him in on the 12th?
No,
Will we reach out to him?
we can reach out to
Yeah.
him to talk about it at the next meeting, but
Okay.
for the 12th, it's not advertised.
All right. All right. Does anybody have anything they want pulled out of the consent agenda?
I have two things to add to the consent agenda.
Go ahead.
Resolution 18161, it's to correct the tax account for Block 15, Lot 23. And also, Resolution 1831, to amend it, the lot should be number 16 instead of Lot 4, which it did read. We did this on June the 6th, so we'll correct that one as well.
Okay. Anybody have any objections to anything?
No.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call. Councilman Carroll.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci.
Yes. All right, we have one announcement. There'll be a special council meeting scheduled for next Thursday, July 12th at 7 p.m. To discuss the Ingersoll Rand tract with Bridge Development.
Should we do those resolutions or move those matters from the executive session at this time?
I thought council was going to do it during this.
Okay.
I don't care when you do it.
Okay.
You can do it now if you want. You want to?
That'd be about it. Want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so the first one will be a resolution to appoint a temporary appointment, 6-month appointment within the construction office for a building subcode inspector for 4 to 6 hours a week at $30 an hour.
Make a motion for that.
Okay.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's Councilman Belcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci.
Yes.
The second resolution would be an appointment, another temporary appointment to allow someone to fill in for the electrical, plumbing, and subcode officials during a person being out sick or on vacation.
I'll make a motion for that.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Councilman Belcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci.
Yes.
Okay, the third one is a request from Fire Prevention, Kevin McGuire, to add an additional person for $5 hours a week at $30 an hour. That would be a permanent part-time person to help out with fire prevention inspections.
I'll make a motion for that.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Belcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci.
Yes.
The last one is our court sessions are going to be moving to evenings beginning in August. Our current court bailiff, as you put it, can only provide assistance to us on the first court of the month. So the third court, we would have to hire a person to do that. So I'd like permission to put that ad out on the website and begin the process.
It might be worthwhile for the audience, we explain why we're making these changes, the reorganization of the court. Do you want to, or I can do it?
You can do it.
Our court administrator resigned for a better position. And just circumstances led us to get a part-time administrator. We're going to get a part-time clerk. And we moved to a different court schedule. And it's, what is it, Beth? It's going to be just 2 sessions
Sessions
a month?
rather than
At
one
night.
every week during the day.
So we're hoping to, fulfill our obligations as far as the court goes and actually cut our costs a little bit.
Thank you.
Motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Menducci?
Yes. That's it for you, correct?
That is.
All right. All right, we've already made the announcement. Jim, council reports?
Thank you. EDAC, we have been we've been meeting with the Lopatcong Emergency Squad to do a townwide garage sale to benefit the emergency squad. The fire departments may be getting involved as well. We were looking to do it on September 8th, however, because of some other activities going on in town, we may be considering postponing it to the 15th. And we'll be meeting this Monday to talk about it in further detail.
Okay,
And that's it.
all right. Thank you. Lou,
I have no report this month.
you have nothing? Joe?
Not really. I'll just repeat, August 25th is Community Day. Miss New Jersey will be making an appearance, and we're working on some other things, so should be a nice day for the family.
All right. As for myself, Mr. Belcarro and I met with Mr. Sturmans on some more road issues. We looked at Enmore, which is between Brinkley and Stelco. We looked at Oxford, which is between Brinkley and Stelco. We looked at Marsh Park, and we've looked at doing maybe a third of Red School Lane. Because I guess Paul feels we can apply for a grant for some of it, so anyway, he's looking into it. I'll let him expand on that a little more with his report, but that's really all I have for this month. Obviously, hopefully you all received the letter that was sent out last week. A lot of us in here stuffing envelopes, me least of all, but I was in here stuffing envelopes. I'd like to thank Kathy DeVos and Lori and everybody else, obviously our office staff, for getting that out. It was something I wanted done prior to this meeting. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk out there. We put in there what we could legally put in, and I'll leave it at that. I haven't had any comments from any residents myself, so trying to be a little bit proactive is to let you know what's going on rather than the rumors getting out there, because some of the stuff that gets out there sometimes is absolutely ridiculous. We've got a problem. We're addressing it. We will not duck the issue. We haven't ducked it yet, and we will get this to a conclusion that is best for the residents of this township, all of us. And our insurance company is going to cover a lot of what's going on. So that's really all I'll say about it at this point. That's it for me. Paul?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. As was indicated, I did meet with some governing body members regarding some additional roads to be included in the 2018 road program, and I'm about to issue, Mayor, some additional budgetary information to you and the council so that you can craft an ordinance for this work here in 2018. As was indicated, we're looking at having a component of the program include Red School Lane or a piece of Red School Lane. I do feel strongly that will help kick off some of the work that's needed on that roadway, but I do also believe that due to the nature of that road, that roadway will be very competitive, in getting a grant from the Department of Transportation under the Local Aid Assistance Program. So my recommendation is going to be later this year, once that program is broken out for fiscal year 2019, that we apply for a grant for a sizable section of Red School Lane to help improve it and build off of what we're going to do as a municipality this year. And the area we're focusing on, so the public's aware of this, would be from Belvedere Road to Charles Road. There would be a section that the township would self-fund, but from Charles Road south, that would be an area that we would seek grant monies to try to help further the improvement of that particular roadway. Any questions on that?
And I would think we'd have a pretty good shot at that, Paul, based on what
I do.
we've passed. So.
There's significant traffic, there's commercial facilities, residential facilities, a lot of visibility. It connects to a county road, a state highway. There's a traffic signal on it, so that all the things that the DOT loves when they're scoring a project are there, so I think it would be a strong application.
And coordinated health may actually be a big help there, so
Yes.
just the fact that that's there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure, Mexico Lane.
you want to wait on the public comment?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, unless you, Paul, you have any objection? Do you have a question?
No, not at all.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The question we wanted to ask for you is, Mexico Lane, one lane or two lanes? I say one lane, there's no line, and every once in a while, I see a jackass fly up around the right side of me, do 50, 60.
My hope is to stripe that. My hope is to have that striped, and Paul could speak to it better than I can, to make it just one lane each way. You'd have a wide shoulder. I know a lot of people walk up that way, or bikes and everything else, so that would be my hope, because it really is kind of a,
I just wondered that.
yeah.
That'll be part of the program, and the intent is to create a 2-lane roadway with shoulders through striping. At this point, right now, it's very ill-defined, the travel lanes, and so you're getting people driving very fast and driving, and being, I guess, driving in different locations within the cartway because it's very undefined.
And actually, I live on Belvedere Road, as you know, which is a county route. It's only maybe been the last, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years that there's been an established shoulder with a white line in front of my place. It was always just, it was only two lanes. You knew that, but now there's an established shoulder on both sides, actually, so, yeah. All right, hold on. Anything else, Paul?
Yeah, two other things, the surveying work on Baltimore Street is done, so we're ready to design the improvements on Baltimore Street. That was a project that we have a $180,000 state grant to help fund the improvements. And then lastly, after the last meeting, Brian and I did meet on Foxconn Road. We did walk the roadway to evaluate conditions. There are some conditions next to the stream that is creating erosion and undermining of our road, but we observed some things that could be tweaked with minor handwork out in the field, and I believe that would help eliminate that type of situation that we're encountering right now. So I believe the road department, if they haven't done it yet, will be doing that type of work moving forward. Regarding...
Where's that, Paul?
This would be Foxconn Road, up in the vicinity...
What's the waterway? Just a drainage?
It's just a unnamed tributary of Lopatcong Creek, but it parallels the roadway.
The reason I bring it up, Trout Unlimited has money to do some stuff, and I don't know, maybe,
Maybe we
I
have to
don't
look at
want
it.
to complicate it, but, maybe it's better to leave it here, but they are going to be doing some work all along Lopatcong Creek.
It could not hurt, and it's an area that traditionally has been a problem for the township, so if...
How about if I give you the guy's name and you
Sure.
just reach out to him?
Sure.
Well, I moved those big stones and everything, put in what you asked me. I got a little more to do, but we have been moving on. So, just like that.
Anything else, Paul?
Make it safe.
Just lastly, I know we also wanted to look at improvements on that roadway. I think the roadway is actually, the pavement's actually in pretty good condition right now. What the residents are complaining about is the drainage. The drainage is not going to be an easy fix. I don't think the county's going to want our water, so what we would need to do, if we're going to put a piping system there, we would need some property owners to volunteer and allow for easements in their property to discharge the water, and that's going to be a difficult thing. It's something we looked at several years ago, and the property owners were not amenable. That's why it hasn't been looked at for a while. But if that's what the property owners want, they're going to have to allow for some right-of-ways in their property to allow for water to be discharged. The county's not going to want it.
They want you to fix it, but they don't really bother with it.
That's correct. Thank you.
Approved department reports?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Beth?
All in favor?
Aye.
Payment of bills?
I'll make the motion to approve the bills. I didn't check, Beth, I didn't see JMT on there. Is there anything on from JMT?
I don't,
If there is, I have to recuse myself from that bill.
I would just state that.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Do you have a second on it?
Second.
They're on there, Joe.
Councilman Belcaro,
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Mancucci?
Yes. Folks, questions, comments? Mr. Betts?
Just one thing about Red School Lane and that striping on it. It might be a thoughtful idea if down by Rica Gardens, there were a turnoff lane put in before both entrances on the right-hand side, going north on the road. And then the other thing is the high-density housing that's going in, all right? Is there, I mean, this is mine to make the decisions.
You're talking Warren Heights?
I'm talking about over in, with golf courses.
It's just a discussion at this
Yeah,
point. There's no...
but just not only about that, but all that high-density housing, is there, do they have a market for that? Do they have like, is there that demand for them to get that?
That's not really up to us to determine whether they
It's
have...
their decision.
That's their decision, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to say something.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Anyone else? Ernie?
Ernie Lott, 245 Aurora Street. First of all, I want to thank you for the letter you put out. It answered a lot of questions, not everything, but probably as much as you can legally tell us. So really appreciate getting this information, knowing somebody's on top of it. My question is, all those people on the consent agenda with the corrections, are they beginning saying that they're no longer delinquent in their taxes?
We've been sending letters out to them?
Yes, the tax collector will be addressing those individuals with a letter along with their account summary and a copy of the resolution eventually.
All right,
Okay?
thank you.
There have been quite a few done already, and we'll be doing more until we, again, get to the bottom of all of this, so. Anyone else, Brian?
Update on this. This one's for you first, Paul. We're starting to wall the bins for stormwater down the garage, just to let you know what's going on. All right. Thank you. All right, so that's the code. All right, 3 walls and impervious. All right. Next is your department here, Lou, with this thing. The big truck, medium heavy duty truck, has made it out of the body shop. All right, it's heading now back to Brown and Brown, which is the last stop. They just have to put some arm handles on it. They forgot. All right, and it's coming our way. So we'll get there.
And I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing, I mean, when was that truck ordered?
I'm going to say October.
October of last year?
It takes a long time to build trucks. That's why, especially now the economy's coming back, everybody's buying.
Yeah.
Everybody's
The street
buying.
sweeper came in first.
Street sweeper came in first. They're still working on that, but we're using it, and I'm waiting for them to get a
And we-
final.
And we still don't have a we still don't have a final resolution to that? Or just,
They're waiting for a computer board to be made, and the engineers are working on it.
You gotta make one.
They got to figure it out, but, you know, until
They're still
then.
using it, though.
Still using it, yeah. Well, a lot of people on vacation right now and stuff, so, but when the doors open, we run it, you know?
Okay.
The other thing I'd like to address a little bit is about your solar. I really have a hard time, and it makes me think back to Obama's time, when you forced everybody to opt out of medical, all right? Which means you forced me in, okay? If the company said, hey, whoever would like to be part of it, sign up, I think I'd be okay with that. I'm not okay with you forcing me to sign up for something and then saying, oh, by the way, you now have to respond to me because I took control of your life. You control me. I don't control myself anymore. So I really have a hard time with that. All right. And the reason why is because my mother-in-law is 93 years old. They call her, and every 6 months I got to call up these companies and fight with them because they transferred her company over, her electrical company over. It's against the law at that age, but they don't care. Okay. So I really don't like it too much. And I know it's different. I know it's maybe what we're saying, but why are you telling me that I have to join you first? Or telling me, I have to do something.
Yeah.
So if I'm on vacation or the elderly aren't there to be able to do that, they're automatically rolled in. So just please think about it as your actions go. All right? So.
Chief?
I do have just one.
it'll be quick, but nonetheless, I'd like to bring it up. In recent months, we had discussions over the Route 22 eastbound and westbound overpass at 57. The state has recently been out there, resurfaced the roadway in those areas. I can only think that it was because of the efforts by the township and the letter that Paul had sent out. So we're seeing a response. I'm sure that it's only going to help the situation. I don't know that it's going to prevent everything that's going on out there, but it's going to certainly help the situation.
It was nice to see.
Thank you,
That's all
Chief.
I've
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's much nicer now, isn't it?
It is much nicer, yeah, well,
Much nicer, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it clean up all the accidents, but like I said, I can't guarantee that. I don't know that anybody can do that.
No, there's no guarantee in that. The road was pretty in bad shape in that area.
The bridges and the roadway itself, yeah,
Yeah, so-
needed repair. They've done a lot of work.
That's improvement.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you very much. Folks, anyone else? Questions, comments?
I have a couple questions, if I may.
Come on up, ma'am.
I'm from the township, may I simply ask questions?
Sure.
Do you have dates for the beginning of this problem that you're hoping to get straightened out with the forensic auditor? Do we have a date that it started, or we're waiting for the auditor to tell us the date that it started?
Can I have your
Yeah.
name for the record and your address?
I'd rather not, if I may, or I can, or I'll give you,
We really can't comment on that,
okay.
so I'll leave it at that at this point. That's why the letter was sent out,
Okay.
to try and clear up as much as we could legally at this point.
And do we have a
So-
time frame of when the auditor will start?
Probably in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I would say in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, and
So-
then, do we have any time frame? Is there like a common time frame in these situations? I'm unfamiliar with them.
No, I
It
wouldn't
just
think there'd be a
Depends on how
comment.
long it takes, is how long it takes.
Correct, depending on how much of a problem you have. So-
Okay, and if anybody has, I think in the letter it said if people have liens, they will be not applied, or whatever that verbiage was in the letter. I mean, if they were inaccurately, I mean, I'm a little confused
Mhm.
because I got recipient of the second letter. So I did not have, supposedly, I didn't have a current problem. I will say in the past, there was a sewer issue, and it got semi-straightened out, but not 100%. So how do I feel confident that if I want to refinance or sell my house, I can? Is there a way to do that?
Is your question, how would you know if there's a lien on your property?
Yeah,
Well, if it's a municipal lien, you just go to the municipal hall and they'll let you know if there's a lien against the property.
so they could give you, I mean, not necessarily me personally, but I'm chatting with some other people now,
Sure.
once the letters went out, and I'm just trying to understand for them, if they watch the video, what process should they do? I mean, the letter was okay, we could all call you, but some people aren't getting responses, or like you just said, the phone system's not working well. What would they do? Can you tell me exactly stepwise?
Sure. Well, for that particular question that you posed, I would call the tax collector's office.
Okay.
And they'll let you know whether there's a municipal lien that's been attached to the property.
Okay. And then I think I have a question about, so there's prosecution against some people, but is the current tax collector a new tax collector, or like an old, previous tax collector? I mean, when did the current tax collector start?
When that's next door right now,
Yeah.
when the township became,
That'd be
Kind of sometime in March.
Yeah, I was gonna say early March.
Okay, early March?
Yeah.
All right, I think, and then I guess on the power issue, that Mr. Pryor had mentioned about the purchasing of that thing.
Yeah.
I think that, with all of this, sense of lack of communication, I think that people might be concerned if all of a sudden they're going to be signed up for a power thing and they had to opt out. I don't think the confidence is going to be there that like they'll know to opt out.
It's kind of interesting, in some of the towns that did this, they implemented everything and then they had the public information sessions later. And if people said they were interested in this, I think we'd do it reverse. I think we'd have the public information sessions
So
first.
you would do it for, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, so that's a little bit encouraging. All right, those are my questions.
Thank you very much. Lori?
Lori Chesla, 12 Meadowview. Recreation's going good. There's actually music in the park tonight. We'll be back on schedule with Wednesdays starting next week. We got some really good selections. We're all full. The Castaways, we're trying to reschedule right now, so, because they were rained out. The movies start next week, the 11th, at the pool, and we have 6 of them. We're also going to try, if I can raise enough money, we're going to send out a letter for Community Day. If I can raise enough money, I'll get the other movie we were talking about, because it was the full price of $350. So recreation's going good, and we'll keep you updated on Community Day, but it's all falling into place. The only other question I have is the when I was up on council, I remember us talking about this, but the intersection of Powderhorn and Strikers, it's severely overgrown right now. And there's a lot of people like walking and riding their bikes and little kids on their skateboards, especially because they shoot over across to get to the elementary school. And whenever I'm at that intersection, I have to pull out into the road to see. I don't know if we have any way to cut back, because it just looks like weeds are overgrown. It doesn't look like it's a bona fide bush or tree anymore.
Right away, Brian, at all?
Tell me which side.
Both. So when I'm facing like the elementary school, it's on both sides of Powderhorn.
We'll take a look at it.
Okay.
North and south, okay.
Yeah. It's you have to go out there, and there's always kids riding their bikes all around there, so it's just a little dangerous. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Folks, thanks for coming out.